Hello everyone, I am back again with another YouTube video. Now before we start, please make sure to join the Hockey Brigade by subscribing if you are new. Also, I am pre-recording this because today is my wedding anniversary, so might be a little bit off with some of this stuff, but not crazy. So anyway, let's get to it. So, we talked yesterday about Jack Eichel returning, but I think that Eichel returning could spark some big moves for just teams around the league. I think that some teams might feel the need to make that push. And some of the names that are coming out right now about potential trades, JT Miller, the Canucks, unfortunately, are not in a great spot in the standings, probably won't make the playoffs. And it seems like the New York Rangers are interested in him. He played his first 5.5 years with New York. I think that JT is still a guy that we could get a good return on. And while I am a big Miller fan since he has come on over from Tampa Bay, I think it would be really silly for us to hold on to a veteran guy if we could get a good return from him. So unfortunately, I do think if the Rangers are that interested and they want to give us a good prospect that might be close to getting ready to play and then a decent pick, yeah, I'm fine with sending Miller over back to New York. Now, the biggest thing that I think could happen here is Eichel returns, and while we know that Stone is headed to the LTIR, we also know that we've never seen the Golden Knights play with Eichel. Colorado might want to make a move here. I don't know what that move would be, and I know their cap is limited with $282,000 around there, roughly, of cap space. But with Eichel going on, they might want to make a move in the coming weeks, and it seems like Claude Giroux might be that guy, as he wants to go to the Avalanche. He's spent so many years with the Philadelphia Flyers, but with Philly being out of the thick of it, and some of those guys have moved on through trades over the years, I think that we could see Claude decide now is the time to go and chase that cup. And with a team like Colorado, that could be a team that very well likely could hoist it, and I think we all agree there. And I don't know how they would have to move some stuff around definitely to make this work. But if that doesn't work out, he also apparently wants to go to either Minnesota, which would be kind of interesting because I don't view them as a Stanley Cup contender, but they do have some young pieces that are good players, and him and his veteran leadership, I still don't think that they would be a contender, but that would be interesting there. But then also it looks like St. Louis is a team that he wants to go to as well. St. Louis, not a bad team. Again, kind of in that realm of Minnesota where I don't view them as a true contender, but we'll have to see there. But yeah, if Drew actually was traded to the Avs, I think that would start something here where it'd be back and forth between Vegas and Colorado, tweaking the rosters, getting ready for potentially a good series between the two in the playoffs. And there have been rumors that Marc-Andre Fleury could be headed back to Vegas. Vegas has said they're not true, but with Robin Lehner being out with an injury, upper body, and his timeline kind of out in the open, nobody's not really sure what's going on there. It seems like Fleury, the talk could be there, trade him back from Chicago after they just traded him to Chicago, and then that could start something there. Vegas, or I don't know what would have to happen here. They are over around $10 million over the cap, so that would be some finagling. But two things come to mind. Two teams that really, just stick out here. Buffalo, they are they have $13.3 million in cap space, and I don't know what they view themselves as. Surely not a contender or even a playoff team. You could be able to dump off something there, but Arizona, they have shown an eagerness to get older players that are on bad deals and take on that cap hit for picks. They've got $7 million in cap space. Curious to see what they could provide for a team, being Vegas or somebody else, going forward towards a trade deadline. Those two teams could be the difference between Vegas or Colorado hoisting the Stanley Cup, or maybe another team. And then two fringe teams that I wanted to talk about here that have the cap space. One, I don't know if they'd actually spin. The other, I think they'd be a little bit wise to at least maybe make a push, is Anaheim and Nashville. Anaheim is a younger team. They have a lot of cap space, around $11 million, I think. I don't think they'd make a push, but you never know. They have got some of the better years ahead of them, or it looks like they do. Whereas Nashville, I'm not sold, and I don't even think they should be here necessarily, and I don't see them being a lock for a playoff spot next year, but They've got, I think, around $10.5 million in cap space. Maybe play around with that, see if you could get a trade or two to make this roster a little better. At this point, it looks like they're dead set for a playoff matchup between Minnesota, and I think that you could better yourself and have a chance to win that round if you do make a trade or two and see how that goes there. But I am curious to see what happens, and then also I really want to see, I think, between Colorado and Vegas, that is going to be that biggest move there. And we saw Calgary make that move, adding Tyler Toffoli. They are neck and neck with the Golden Knights in the Pacific. Trying to win that division would make things better for them. And if you could make it to where Vegas has to play somebody else and you got an easier playoff matchup, we'd have to see how that goes there. So what are your thoughts? Do you think any of these trades will happen? Do you see Miller going to the Rangers? Do you see Fleury headed back to Vegas? And do you see Giroux getting moved to Colorado? That one's going to be interesting to see how cap would work. I'm not very sold there, but we'll have to see. Probably have to get another team involved. And yeah, let me know what you think down below and what are some other crazy trades you think will happen. Everybody, make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it and join the Hockey Brigade by subscribing if you're new. Stay safe. Have a great night. You go love hockey, all right. Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.